Hi, welcome to all the FMAC community, our students, families, friends, and visitors. Welcome. I'm Dr. Len, if we haven't met, psychologist and martial arts instructor. And during this time, I like to provide some encouraging words for people. They've been saying, well, you hear this said a lot, that these are uncertain times. And with uncertainty can often come confusion and fear. Now, behind me is a graphic we use a lot. It's a fork in a road. And two little people, two young people making good decisions or bad decisions. Good decisions here, bad decisions there. And what I think is fascinating is, as a world, as a people, we are all at that crossroad right now, each one of us. Fear and rash, acting without thinking, can lead to some really bad choices, really bad decisions, even if it's just to make us feel overwhelmed, all right? If we make good decisions, then us and the generations to come after us are going to have a real good foundation to build on, all right? Now, in terms of uncertain times, let me give you one certainty, one absolute certainty that goes way beyond any of the uncertainties. And that certainty is this is coming to an end. Every day is bringing us closer to that end. The world is going to reopen. When we keep those thoughts in our minds, realistic thoughts, then all of a sudden the confusion and the fear just might be a little bit less troublesome. Okay? Now, the stores, the malls are all going to open again, and the welcome back sales are probably going to be better than any Black Friday event you've ever been to. Restaurants are going to be hammered. You're going to have to set a reservation 2 weeks in advance to get in there. Same with the movie theaters. All right? Oh, and yes, the schools are going to reopen. That is a certainty. All the teachers and all the kids will be going back to school. Now, kids, when you think about that, all this isn't quite as confusing and scary, is it? Okay? Now, let me say something about the news. A lot of you get your information from the news, and there may be a broadcast that you especially watch to be educated. I want you to think about something when it comes to the news, and think back in news history. The news that we see in our televisions at night is the bad news. It's not the good news, it's the bad news. It's the things that go wrong. It's the things that got hurt. It's the things that ended or came to an end. That's what we have. You see, the news is a business. And businesses need money to stay alive. And bad news sells. Good news sells, but not quite as much. And that's why at the end of a 30-minute news broadcast, you might get, 15 seconds of it. And now look at this, a panda was born at the local zoo. And that's wonderful. But rarely are you going to see a panda being born or kids being successful in a class trip or on a math exam in the headlines, because that doesn't sell, and they're in the business to make money. So then what you need to do is deal with that with good decisions behind you. What you should be listening to is at least 3 different networks. I think what you've all noticed by now, you never hear the same consistent message from anyone. No, and you probably won't until this gets way back under, getting ready to close down, all right? You need at least 3 different opinions coming in. From those 3 opinions, then you have to add a filter. Well, what's the filter? Disregard any time that's spent on blaming somebody or bad-mouthing somebody or something. Just that does nothing to helping your understanding of what's going on and what's coming next. All right, filter all that out. And then what you're going to have from those 3 networks is a more realistic idea of how things are out there. But one thing you've got to keep in mind is this is coming to an end. Now, the next 2 weeks. Here in the next 2 weeks, these are the most important weeks in this event. Although you're probably not going to see anything change around us physically at all. If you're watching the news regularly and you're keeping up with numbers, the numbers are likely to reach their peak in the next 2 weeks. Once they reach their peak, they begin to level off, and then they begin to come down. In fact, one city mentioned today that it appears their numbers are going down already. It's being fact-checked. But that's at least something that's coming out of this, because it's going to come to an end. All right? Remember, these 2 weeks are going to be important. It's time to really encourage yourself. It's time to really dig in and stay the course. We're going to get through this. And no one's getting through it alone. We're all getting through it together. Some of the nicest things are being done for some people to other people right now. And that's fantastic. Just fantastic. Okay? So I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay well. If there's anything that we can do to help you in that process, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can contact us through the email or through text right here. And if there's anything I can do to help in a personal situation, please let me know. I'd be very happy to help any way that I can. Okay? Until next time, FMAC community, stay safe and stay well.